Hello everyone, welcome to Suomussalmi, the next part of the Winter War. And before I say any more, let's go into the start video. And the exposition as well. Tonight, your mission is to destroy the Russian regiments trapped near Suomussalmi. There are 3 main pockets, with Russians dug in along the road. Our troops surround them and await your orders. So yeah, that was basically the overview of the map, and now we're gonna let our officer do his talking bit. So yeah, that's that pretty much. Yeah. Here we are in the middle of blustery Finland in the winter, the howling winter winds. And basically, let me go into some history about this battle first. The whole thing about this was that there were these 2 Russian, I want to call it, regiments that walked into the middle of Finland to try and cut the country in half. For whatever reason. Russian strategy back then wasn't very good in 1939, but as I was saying, they went in trying to cut Finland in half, and the main problem with that is there's really no roads. Like, as you can see here, this is just a stamped down muddy snow track. It's little more than a glorified mud river, and basically what the Finnish would do is they'd come in from these hills on the sides and they'd do lightning attacks. And eventually they got them into they got the Russian regiments into what they called matis, which in Finnish actually means a piece of firewood that's cut up for, firewood purposes, like this. When you have to log and you have to cut it up for firewood. And basically they did that with the Russians and they called it mati tactics. What they do is they'd have engineers, like the ones over here, like these guys, that would run across the road and put up roadblocks, and they ended up cutting the Russians off from one another, and then they'd eventually either starve them out if they were big, like this one would usually be starved out. Well, relatively speaking, this is just on scale to the map itself. Or if they were smaller, like this, then they would just probably directly assault them, try and keep casualties as low as possible, and overrun them. And, yeah, so now Mati tactics are basically, quite the thing. But what we're going to do is we are going to pull off a surprise night attack on these Russian regiments that have been cut into Matis, and we're going to see if we can overrun all 3 of them in one night. And as you saw from the video, it showed the hill. Ooh, that guy got wrecked. But as it showed this hill here, which would help control the road, as there's the bend that has to go around this hill. And then in this third pocket over here, it contains all of the regiment's gasoline reserves, or petrol as I called it in this, because that's what they called it back then. And so they want us to either capture that or blow it up pretty much. And then other than that, it's at your discretion. So, we're going to try and take these over. So I'm going to be quiet for a while whenever we try and assault these, so you can just hear the winter and hear the screams and gunfire mixed in with the beautiful winter But yeah, let's try this out really fast.
Verstanden. Jawohl.
That was a good shot, but calm down over there. So yeah, as you can see, the Russian morale was particularly low at this time, what with between all the Finnish lightning attacks and pretty much everything else. They were terrified of the Finnish at this point, and they started to surrender in great numbers. So instead of fighting to the death, these 4 or 5 unlucky men had to end up surrendering, and now we're going to capture all their cargo and prisoners. Yeah, this map isn't too long, but I thought it was better than making a giant map full of Mahtis, because this is really how it would have went, with small Mahtis were the only ones that could really be stormed by the Finnish army at this point, as the Finnish army was quite weak at this point. Oh no, go back. Going the wrong way. And we're gonna use our snipers, because that's the main thing that the Finnish used, was snipers. And if you're wondering why they aren't firing, it's because I have them on return fire mode, because I'm a cheapo. Let's see how this works out. Oh no. I should get out of this and tell my guys to start shooting. And now we're back. No, but as you can see, Shift F is how you get into this mode. I particularly like it. See if I can wreck that guy. Bam, son. And now these ones have surrendered. Okay then. We'll take these 2 submachine gunners that were helping to make sure the snipers didn't get wrecked. And we will also take the snipers in. I'm gonna use this one, Wendell Stamler. We'll see how he does out in the field. So what does this guy have? Camouflage. He needs a grenade. He needs a granata, so I can perform the act of sabotage that I'm about to pull off in a second here. But, you know, for now, we'll see how stealthily he does this. I'll be back in a second while we watch for this guy. Will anyone spot him? No, no one spots him. Okay then. Oh, they didn't even notice. Boom! That was certainly quite the explosion. Ooh! They killed Wendell. Okay then. Maybe I should have actually gotten my troopers in position first. But, you win some, you lose some. So yeah, I didn't really even need the reinforcements. I mean, this is pretty easy, but especially with them surrounded. But you know. Yeah, these guys have a different... I put these guys on a different surrender motion, so they have their hands on their head. And we managed to capture an officer this time. Which is pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Didn't lose anyone in that attack, I don't think. Oh, I lost one. Oh well. But yeah. I hope you all enjoyed the Suomussalmi. And by the way, in case if you're wondering, like if you've never heard of these tactics and you're wondering how they work so well, I just want to say that at West Point they still teach these Mati tactics to cadets learning how to command armies because they were that successful back in World War II, 1939. This battle is still taught in classical military universities as one of the pinnacle ambush type battles ever. So, you know, just in case you thought this battle wasn't that important, it's a mystery for you. And now I'm going to take these prisoners away and you guys can get back to whatever you're doing. So yeah, I will see you all later. Bye.